Alright, well, we got a bit of change of scenery for this video. We're going to be cleaning up the rear transaxle and getting some of the gunk that's stuck in here out. I ordered some parts, which I'll show you guys later. We got front tires that came in that I found on Amazon that were 19 by 7 by 8 inch for the front 8-inch rims, and then was able to find some used 25 by 10 12 for the 12-inch rims for the rear. Unfortunately, the used ones that I found locally had a hole in one of them, so I'm gonna have to patch that, and I'll show you that when we get to that point. But for right now, I'm going to be loosening up any of the junk that's in this, top of this, and we're going to take this clip off, give it a couple whacks on the top of here, and we're going to separate this old pulley from the input shaft on the transaxle, so we can take measurements and get the right diameter for our new pulley in there. We're hanging out by the wood stove and keeping warm while we work on our snow mower project. So I'll be back in a few minutes once I'm done vacuuming and show you where we're at. Alright, we got it cleaned up. Most of the junk out of the sides of the case there. And what we're taking off now is this little retaining clip that's here, and then we should be able to give this a couple taps and have the pulley come up. Okay, we got the clip off. And we're going to soak that with some more penetrant for a little bit, and then we'll give it a couple taps with the hammer. If we have to, we'll heat up around the outside and then tap that. So I cheated a little bit. This whole rear transaxle has been outside, so the whole thing is cold to the touch still. We put the penetrant on there, and what we're going to do is heat up around the outside of this pulley, so that'll expand, and the shaft should stay cold enough that it can easily tap it with a hammer from the back side a couple times and get that to come off. Well, my torch doesn't want to cooperate, so we'll try that again in a minute. Okay, we're back in business. and we'll basically just keep working at that till it comes off. So I'll get back with you in a few minutes, probably after a couple times of heating that. You can see it steaming a little bit. And then I'll show you some of the new parts we got. Well, the original tactic didn't work, so we're going to go for some evasive maneuvers. Well, I didn't want to bore you with the fine details, but we're at this point now. So I can make a slit down the side of that, and I should be able to hammer it off. The pulley itself has like multiple layers to it, so you had to kind of like cut around and then work its way off. So we're getting there. I just don't want to bore you with the nitpicky stuff. So once I get this thing moving, I'll turn the camera back on and show where we're at. All right, got a slit cut in this, and now we should be able to spread that a bit and hit it with the PB blaster and walk that thing right off there, and then we can measure shaft size I got a couple old pulleys kicking around. Like I said, I'm going to show you the new parts in just a couple minutes here, but we're in pretty good shape to get at least the pulley swap done. I think for today we'll clean that shaft up, get the smaller pulley on, and I'll show you some of the new tires and other stuff we got going on. That's not what I was expecting. Well, I don't know if you saw that, but the input shaft just came undone from the inner part of the transaxle, so now we have to take that apart because the pinion gear that's on there is supposed to be held on by a C-clip, and that just basically undid itself off the end. So it looks like we'll be taking apart the transaxle in this video, and probably sizing up for some new clips, and we're going to need a vise probably to get that last chunk of pulley off of there. So we might be taking a trip to the shop today, but we'll see. Sweet. So we got the collar off now that it was split, and there is a keyway on this that locks that pulley in to this input shaft. There's a little cut mark in it, but nothing too deep, so that shouldn't mess with anything. It had the retaining clip on the outer portion for the bearing, but the problem is the part that fell off was a retaining clip on the inside, and there's going to be a bevel gear that sits in there that we got to get clipped back on there. So I'm going to start making a parts list for Tractor Supply, and once I figure out all the stuff I'm going to need, then I can probably start rebuilding the transaxle. But that's where we're at for right now. And let's go show you the new tires. All right, so we're back outside. Here is Mower Project. We got a couple other cans propped up holding it. This is a smaller, I believe, 3-inch pulley, and it looks like diameter wise this will fit that shaft in there. I just got to clean some of the surface rust up off of this, and it should slide. These have a little set key, so we'll have the key, and then we'll also have the retaining clip on top to hold that on. This is a 6-inch pulley for the front crankshaft, and if you remember, we were talking last time, I might just flip the stock pulley that's in the front of this upside down, because it has about the same size as that would be normally going to the cutting deck. But here's the fun stuff. So I found these on Amazon. They are ZHONGYA. I'm not even going to try pronouncing that. But the size is 19 by 7 by 8. And these fit the 8-inch rim, stock 8-inch rims. And it still has the plastic bushings in it. But for right now, just for mock-up and doing some testing, we're going to put these up on the front. And you'll kind of see how it looks. So on the front spindle. So these are, the original tires were 16 inches tall. So 3 inches larger will be 1.5 inches in diameter of lift, just from the tire height, theoretically at least. I did check some clearances. It does still clear the footboards for that without any kind of lift on this front axle. So that is good. And it looks like that'll work for both sides. We're gonna take the steering apart at some point in the front and do gussets between here and here to kind of strengthen that up, just in case we hit anything while we're going off-road. This is the 21 horse Briggs & Stratton. Spins over fine, has good compression, and once we do some finagling with the governor and bypass that, we're actually going to run a throttle cable up through and mount a lever onto the steering wheel, kind of like ATVs have a thumb throttle, but this will be like a brake cable basically, and that will be the throttle input. So you'll set your idle with your normal control for the throttle, and then the override basically to get the higher RPMs will be right up on the steering wheel. It'll just be easier that way with off-roading and stuff. You'll have the hand controls right up there, because the steering on this really isn't, let's see, it's 1, 2 turns lock to lock. So in reality, unless you're turning around, you're going to have the hand controls right there for most of what you're doing. So that's pretty much all the updates I got for now. I think we're going to go back inside, run some sandpaper on that shaft, and start taking apart a transaxle. So let's go check that out. Okay, we're back inside. We're going to start taking apart this case. We'll have to undo all these retaining bolts around the edge, and then there's one in the middle, and then we'll have to separate the case open and get that clip back that came undone off of that input shaft. Well, there's one bolt that doesn't want to come undone, so we'll try putting the 2 case bolts next to it back in, take some of the tension off of that one, and we might have to break it loose with a ratchet, and then come back to take that out the rest of the way, I believe. Yeah, just got to get a ratchet, and then we'll be right back at it. Okay, we're back. Borrow the socket off of that. And we'll see if this will come loose without being a pain. It's moving, but it's definitely a little bit stuck. So I think the hole for this is open on the other side. I'm going to hit it with some PB Blaster, and we'll try to work this thing out so we don't have to mess with broken bolts. I should be able to get this from back here. I believe it's not a blind hole, so I should be able to take this right there. It's probably just been in there a while, but we'll try to give it every chance we can to come out in one piece instead of having to repair broken bolts. But yeah, that one broke. So we'll get the case open, and we'll have to extract that one because it spun the head off of it. It's got to be seized into the aluminum case on that. So once the other case half is off, I should be able to grab it with a pair of pliers and heat that up and extract it. If not, I can always drill it and tap it or heel coil it if I need to. That's working on older stuff, you run into that. So we got the case open. This is the rear axle. We got the pinion gear out, and this is the broken bolt we should be able to extract. This is the rest of the inside of the transaxle. You got a drive chain, your bevel gear, and then all of your gear set and your little outside rotor. So what we're going to do on this is take apart this differential, and we're going to find a way to lock that so that we have traction at both wheels all the time, because if this is going to be for off-road, even though we are going to have the knobby tires, we're going to want all the traction all the time, since it's only two-wheel drive and not like a regular four-wheel drive ATV. So that'll be the next step, but I think that's going to wrap it up for today. So hopefully you enjoyed getting a sneak peek of the mower project, and hope everybody's doing good. If you can, subscribe to the channel. I know it's a newer channel as far as the mower videos go, and if you like the stuff, leave a like. If you have any questions or comments or things or ideas that you think would be helpful, go ahead and leave a message in the comments. And I hope to hear back from everybody that watches this, and let me know if you're excited for the project or you have other ideas of stuff you want worked on. But other than that, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.